This is the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel 1970-73 Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler YouTube channel.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1970-73 Carryover League. Tonight we are in the American League North with a series between the Tigers and the Ohio Players. Tonight from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, home of the Ohio Players band that the team was named after. Let's take a look at how this season opened up in Detroit. Game 1, Tigers 7-4 victors in Game 1. Mickey Lolich beats Al Downing. Both teams had pretty nice offenses in this game. It really was a really bad 6th inning that did the undoing of Al Downing. They batted around to the Tigers, and that was it. 7-4 is your final. Detroit wins Game 1. Remember, the Detroit Tigers were in the World Series last year. They didn't have a very good record in the regular season to get there. Game number 2. It's Les Kane for the Tigers against Don Wilson for Ohio. And again, both teams get out of the blocks with good offense in this game, but it's just Don Wilson, who outstanding pitcher and probably going to be the all-star pitcher for Ohio, but after this rocky outing, maybe not. He just put 16 men on in 5 innings to a tune of 6 runs, which is very fortunate. But the Tigers just were unstoppable and put 2 or 3 guys on every inning of this game. End up 9-5 victors. 2 straight at home. Series goes to Ohio, where they need to win it at least 2 out of 3 to get the series to go back to Detroit, if not all 3. Game 3, the Ohio Players, they get a win. They do it. And they do it in a very odd way, because Doc Ellis is against Joe Coleman. And in the top of the 1st inning against Doc Ellis, McAuliffe grounds to first. Then Al Kaline, gone. Gates Brown, gone. Norm Cash, gone. Willie Horton, gone. 4 straight homers for the Tigers in the 1st inning. I haven't seen that in Strat-O-Matic in a long time. I can't remember it ever happening or when the last time it could have been. Another home run here in the 4th by Jim Northrup. And after all that, Detroit, you end up losing. You lose the game 8-7. Joe Coleman got knocked around in the 1st inning. Kept them in there through the 6th. He didn't do very well. And Ohio got a much-needed home win. Then in Game 4, the pivotal, you know what I'm saying, game of the series, we've got on short 3 days rest again, Lolich and Downing, the rematch from Game 1. Much better pitched game. It's the Bill Robinson show early. 2-run homer off of Lolich in the 1st, solo job in the 3rd, and it's Bill Robinson 3, Detroit nothing. Till the 6th, Tigers get a run, another run in the 8th. Then trying to get a save and even the series up is Mudcat Grant, the closer. Jim Northrup has other ideas. Boy, he has had a nice year for the Tigers. He's got walk-off game-winning homer in his resume this year for the Tigers. Solo shot in the 9th ties it. Tigers win this in 12 innings on a solo shot by Willie Horton. So plenty of solo homers by the Tigers in this series. And we have a Game 5 in Ohio, a must-win game for them as they try and stay competitive and you know, trying to stay in this American League North race. They have a pitching advantage today. The Tigers will be sending their number 4 starter, Tom Timmerman, out there against Rudy May for the Ohio Players. Let's get started from Dayton, Ohio Player Stadium, where the band does a concert before, during, and after the game. Al Kaline leads off. 57's a K. Dick McAuliffe, 54, bounce to second. This is Dave Cash. Makes the play. And Mickey Stanley, 44, second X again. 3E23 at second base. Makes the play. Bottom of 1. It is Dave Cash leading off, 65. This guy's a center. Sonny Jackson, 35. Homer 1-5 double. It's a double. Johnny Jeter, 65, skies a center, and with 2 outs, it's Chuck Hinton. 4-10, lines the short. Top of 2, it's Willie Horton. Here's a, you know what, bounce to third. Ike Brown is playing third base, if you want to call it that. He's a 40-37 at third, and he surrenders a double. He tried. Had to roll 3 Triple Jeopardy, and we still couldn't record an out for Ike. Runner at second for Bill Freehan. 3-10, skies the center. Norm Cash, 2-5, rolls to short. Clete Boyer, 1-10, base hit in the left field. Will Horton run here. He's got wheels. 13, 14, 15 against the zero arm of Bill Robinson. Bill Robinson cannot throw him out. And it's 1-0 Tigers, and they are officially 24 outs away from winning the series. Jim Northrup. Big game, Jim Northrup. 1-8. That's only the second inning. You can't expect them to get on base. Pops out. Bottom of 2. It'll be Dan Driesen. 2-7. Base hit for the B-Stealer. Freehand's got a -2 arm. Will stay at first. Bill Robinson, the hero, or would have been the hero of Game 4 had they won. They didn't. 4-7's a K. Ike Brown, 1-2, is a Lomax. Don't like to see that. Catches the guy off of first base. We'll go to the third. Ed Brickman, 2-6, base hit. Brickman was the starting shortstop this year, and Woody Woodward came in with a hotter bat and took his job, and now Brickman's back in defensively. Up 3-1 in the series. Getting the start. Al Kaline, 1-5 is a K. McAuliffe, 2-7's a walk. Mickey Stanley, let's take a look at a guy I haven't seen one yet. Here is Mickey Stanley, your one with a -2 arm in center field. Probably his best year, 1971, 292, 400 plate appearances. Crushes lefties more than righties. Yeah, with the defense, makes him a number 3 hitter on one of the best offenses in baseball here against lefties. 2-7 is your base hit into right field. Now, the runner is Brinkman. Brinkman is a 12 runner, will not run against Jeter. Leaves them loaded with 1 out, playing back for Willie Horton. Here's a who. 48 off of Rudy May is a single to center field. Now McAuliffe's the runner. It's a 13 runner. And Sonny Jackson's got a +2 arm in center, making it 15, so he'll run, and he slides in on a 15. Magnificent. Tigers, one of the slowest teams in baseball. But here, a 13 runner got a huge break. Found a +2 armed center fielder, and was able to score from second on a single. And suddenly it is 3-0. Mickey Stanley, he probably went to third on the throw. As a 15 runner, he does. So you have runners in the corners with 1 out, and now they got to bring it up for William Freehan. 54, second X with it up, 323 at second base. Makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Norm Cash. 35, skies to right field. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning. It's Elrod Hendricks leading it off. 48, single 1 of 3, lines out. Roberto Pena, 39, pops to third. And Dave Cash, 59, 1-1, base hit. Sonny Jackson, 47, is a walk. And the tie run with 2 outs is Johnny Jeter. Let's take a look at Johnny Jeter's card. Look, these Ohio players, they got some pieces. These are not duds. They got some nice pieces on this squad. And by nice pieces, guys who performed with less than a full season of work. So that's why their stats look kind of gaudy, like Johnny Jeter's here. He hits .320, but only 75 at bats. He's not even the team's leading hitter. They have Gene Klein's hitting .334, though he's on the bench presently. So, with 2 on and 2 outs, the pitch to John Jeter. 310 is your single 1-18, and he gets it. And they're loaded with 2 outs for Chuck Hinton. Let's take a look at Chuck now. Another guy played for the 1970 Cleveland Indians with 200 plate appearances, hit .318 with this card, and he plays all over the place. How can you not love this guy, folks? He plays every place but shortstop, and he hits .318 doing it, and he's got power both ways. The most utilitarian superstar player in the era for at least, 1 year at least. The pitch to Chuck Hinton. 6'11", Pitcher X Timmerman is an E29. And E29, we plug that in right there. And he lucks into a GBC. Tough break for Ohio there. They cannot get the error. And the inning ends. It stays 3-zip. Clete Boyer leading off in the 4th. 57's a K. Northrup 2-6 is a single. Ed Brinkman 4-11 flies it in the left field. This is Bill Robinson to 2-11 in left. He makes the grab. And now K-Line, 45. Bounces to short. This is Roberto Pena, 3-16 at short. And he makes the play. Bottom of the 4th. Ohio blew a nice chance in the 3rd. Can they come back in the 4th? Dan Driesen, 2-2 pitcher. Bill Robinson, 2-9, single to center. Ike Brown, 212, 6, 4, 3, double play. We'll go to the 5th. Dick McAuliffe, 2-6 is a walk. Mickey Stanley, 1-9 is a 5-4-3 double play. And Willie Horton, 47's a K. Rudy May, couple of, you got a 2-out hit in the 2nd and a 2-out single here by Horton, and yeah. 3-0 game, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, Elrod Hendricks leads off. 1-7's a K. Roberto Pena, 2-6, pops the 2nd. And Dave Cash. Let's take a look at Dave Cash. Interesting. Dave Cash will play for the Ohio Players the entire timeline here, as long as his career is going. Of course, we remember Dave Cash playing for the Pirates, playing for the Phillies. But you know what? Those squads will be fine without Dave, because they have Rennie Stennett in Pittsburgh, for instance. And the Phillies, will start the decade with Denny Doyle at second base. And they'll find somebody else, Mike Tyson, to play second base. But the Ohio Players need an identity, and having particular players on this team through the entire timeline gives this team an identity, like you know who you're going up against. And Dave Cash is, again, a great player for an expansion team who likes to acquire players who played for multiple teams during his career, as Cash also played for the Montreal Expos and the San Diego Padres. Has at least 4 teams there, if not a 5th one that I'm not remembering. But here is the pitch to Dave Cash. 2-9 is a grounder to the 3rd. We go to the 6th. Tom Timmerman is a starter 6, which puts him in can't lose territory here, with a 3-run lead approaching his breaking inning. And it'll be Bill Freehand leading off at the top. 5-10, bouncer to short. Roberto Pena, 3-16, makes the play. Norm Cash, 6'10", catcher's card. This is Elrod, a 4-1, makes the play. Clete Boyer, 57 is a K. Bottom of the 6th. 3-0 game. Sonny Jackson's been on twice today. 1-3, pops to first. Johnny Jeter, 4-11, left X. This is Northrup, a 2-6 in left field. And they get a cheap double off of the great defense of Northrup. That's a tough break for the Tigers. Runner at second for Chuck Hinton. He skies a center, and with 2 outs, it's Dan Driesen. Let's take a look at Mr. Dan Driesen. Now, we know, of course, that he would be a Cincinnati Red, but what do you think happens, folks? The Big Red Machine has so many players, they can't keep everybody, and obviously Dan Driesen is going to be on that short list to be signed elsewhere. Ohio will hold on to this cat as long as they can, and the Reds are just going to have to look for a different first baseman, particularly after they move on from Lee May and Tony Perez. I don't know who's going to play first for them at that point. But this Cincinnati Dan Driesen card of 1973 hits you 301 and 366 at-bats. And he will have a nice little tenure here with Ohio all the way through the early 80s. The pitch to Dan Driesen. 1-4 is a sky to center field. It's kind of interesting, too, to mention that we talked about how much we love the Pittsburgh Pirates and Cincinnati Reds during the era, as they are 2 of the best teams in all of baseball. And I just identified 2 very good baseball players, Dave Cash and Dan Driesen, who will not represent those 2 squads, kind of giving the league more balance, so that these expansion teams aren't walkovers. They're actually pretty good, including today in a 3-0 game as we approach the top of the 7th. Rudy May is a starter 7. He isn't going anywhere. It'll be Jim Northrup. 66 is a K. Ed Brinkman. 2-6 is a single. And Al Kaline. Let's take a look at Al. I haven't looked at the mini cards today in a low-scoring game. Al Kaline's 1970 card, and you know, it's one of the few of the 70 cards here in the offense, because most of the guys have been bumped up to 71 or 72 or 73 cards. And that's because the guys get better with age. That would include Mickey Stanley and Willie Horton and Norm Cash and Jim Northrup. All have mid to late 30-year-old players getting better with age, and Al Kaline will not be an exception. He will do well in his future cards in 71 and 72. So the Tigers are like great wine. They get better with age. Here's the pitch to Al. 53. Skies the center field. This is Sonny Jackson, a 3-8 in center field. And he makes the catch. It's a fly ball A, though, meaning that Ed Brinkman goes to second on the throw. With 2 outs, it's Dick McAuliffe. 37 is a K. Rudy Mays had a nice quality start, but he's trailing 3-0 as we approach stretch time here in Ohio. We are listening to the Ohio Players 1971 LP, Pain. And it's painful to see them losing today at home in their own ballpark. I want to hear from you, the Bats. We want to hear from the Bats in the bottom of the 7th. Timmerman on a short leash with a 3-0 lead. John Hiller is available in the bullpen. Here we go in the 7th. Bill Robinson to lead it off. 67's a K. Ike Brown. 55 rolls to second. And with 2 outs, it's Elrod Hendricks. 2-8 grounds the first. We'll go the 8th. Mickey Stanley. 2-6, double 1 and 9's a double. Willie Horton. 56 is a K. Bill Freehan. 1-3. Let's take a look at Bill Freehan's card. 1 batter too many for Rudy May, though. He hits a homer on a 1-3, lefty or righty. Doesn't really matter. Freehan did have 16 bombs and 400 plate appearances in 1970. 2-run shot here in the 8th. And now we got a 5-0 game. Rudy May, a batter away from breaking. But you got to break him to get him out of there. The starting pitching for Ohio is much better than the bullpen. Here's Norm Cash. 1-8's a K. And Clete Boyer, 45, bounced to short. Roberto Pena, 3-16, boots it. Boots the ball for Northrup. 37, grounds to second. Timmerman with a shutout. Tom Timmerman. Interesting player. Had a really good year in 1972, the year the Tigers went to the American League Championship Series. And the story goes is that Timmerman pitched well during the regular season, then he either got injured or he disappeared in September, October, as he did not have a postseason appearance. So I'm guessing he must have gotten hurt during the stretch run, during the pennant race. And he was not available because he really pitched well in 72. Let me give you those stats. 8-10 but he had a 2.88 ERA in 150 innings, only gave up 12 home runs. So it's a great card. He's 6 outs away from his CGSO, but I'll have Roberto Pena leading off in the 8th. 67's a K. Dave Cash, 1 for 3 today. 49 is a walk. Sonny Jackson has been on 2 out of 3 times. 5-11, short X. This is Ed Brinkman, a 2E24 at short. Big defensive play here. And it is a 6-4-3 double play, a GBA in prime. Tough break for the Ohio players. They are feeling the blues today in Ohio. Let's go to the 9th inning. Rudy May gave you 8 strong innings. Vince Colbert will come out of the Ohio bullpen for the 9th inning, as this expansion team is just a little bit short against a World Series team from a year ago who improved in the offseason. Ed Brinkman leads off for the 9th. 37, short. Al Kaline, 56 is a K. And McAuliffe, 48 is a single. Mickey Stanley, 54, center X. 3E8 in center field. That's going to be a single. Runners in the corners for Willie Horton. 58, bounce to second. This is Cash. 3E23 at second. And a single dot. Bad defense for Ohio. They got to struggle for just about everything. And it's now 6-0 for Freehand. 46 off of Colbert. Oh boy. 1-1-3. Single dot. And they're starting to exit here in Ohio. Runners in the corners, 2 outs for Norm Cash. Skies is center field. It is a 7-0 game. And Tom Timmerman is going to go for a CGSO. John Jeter leads off in the 9th. 6-11. Pitcher X. He's an E29 pitcher, being tested for the 2nd time. Makes the play. Chuck Hinton, 57 is a K. And with 2 outs, Dan Driesen, 37, skies to right field. There it is, folks. The Tigers. They assert themselves, take 4 out of 5 against the Ohio players. I was going to say lowly Ohio players, but they're not lowly. They're a good team. And even after losing the series, just find themselves a couple games under 500. Let's do the box here. The Tigers are playing better than they did last year when they went to the World Series. The New York Mets are playing better than they were last year when they won the World Series. Dare we say we have a rematch. Tom Timmerman, 6-hit shutout, 2 walks and 5 strikeouts. Colbert in the 9th. Messed up a nice day for Ohio. 4 hits, 2 runs and a K. 8 innings for Rudy May. Tough one here. They give up 9 hits and the 5 runs. The 8th inning homer really hurt, made the effort look much worse than it really was. 1-0, 09, 01, 09, 7-13, 06. 210, 2-5. And let's take a look at the standings in the American League North and the composite box for the 2 squads as this series ends in 5 games. The American League, not nearly as deep as the National League. So that makes a series like this for Detroit, they have to feel very comfortable right now to the Tigers. Much more comfortable than last year when they were playing their way out of the playoffs altogether, but then the rest of the division imploded, and so they had to go. And they ended up going all the way to the World Series in a huge, unlikely run. Ohio is now 8-10, when really that's not that bad, really, an 8-10 record. Hitting .270 with a 3.40 ERA. Those are good stats, too, for this squad. Doc Ellis is 4-0. Al Downing's 0-4. And that's kind of weird how things like that kind of balance out for this team. They don't have Well, Bill Robinson's having a magical year. In 18 games, he has 9 homer and 16 RBI with a 73 card. That was really his first big year for him early in his career, and then he had a lull until the late 70s. But Bill Robinson's paying the bills for Ohio this year with a nice start. Your Tigers are 12-6. They sit a half game ahead of the Indians, the teams we thought would be there in this division this year. Timmerman, that was win number 1. He's 1-2 as the number 4 starter. Offensively for the Tigers, I guess we want to call Northrup. Yeah, 5 homer, 13 RBI, hitting over 333. And when you look at the division standings here, what we thought would eventually happen is now happening. The 2 traditional Major League Baseball teams are playing great baseball, and the 2 expansion teams are not. This is how it was projected, many during the realignment and the formation of the league, but it very rarely happens between the Tigers and Indians because they play themselves out of it in most seasons, mysteriously, but not this year. The 2 teams, and you can say these 2 teams would have been in the American League East had we had 6 or 7 teams in the division. They get to branch out on their own, and they get to dominate here. And you see now they are right up there with their contemporaries. Instead of playing second fiddle to the Orioles and Red Sox, they are right there at the very top records in the league. So Tigers hitting 283 with a 3.70 ERA as well. Nice stats there. And the league has now played 275 games. A lot of hitting in this series, so the numbers went up to 262 league batting average, and the ERA is back up to 3.90. It was as low as 3.50. Normally this ERA drops as we get to a postseason and playoffs as the bad teams get eliminated with bad pitching staffs. So it'd be interesting to see if this ERA climbs all the way to 4 before then. I practically don't think so because, there's just not a lot of depth on these teams during this era as there were in the late 70s when there was 2 extra ball clubs, Seattle and Toronto, and extra talent to distribute. But anyway, great series for the Tigers. They did what they had to do. They beat a lesser squad 4-1. Congratulations, Detroit, on the road back to the playoffs. Thanks for checking out this video, and we will see you next time.